Good morning, people. Good morning. We're counting down to the beginning. Oh, I said beginning. The beginning of the qualifiers for the Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah.
Which one?
Continuing.
Super Eagles.
We have a game on the 7th.
Yes. I'm trying to understand where you're going to with this. We have a coach now. We have coaches.
I'm not alive. I never arrived. Like you're only. I never reached there now.
Nigerians, you don't start worrying again. We don't have a coach, so I say don't need to worry.
We don't have a coach yet. Yes, we know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw a news story this morning saying that Augustine Eguavoen had submitted a list of 30 players to the Football Federation. He was going to streamline those 30 players to 25, ahead of the qualifiers, So I put a call through and he's denied that. He says that news story is dead on arrival.
But why do we do a lot of that now?
I don't know. I don't know where these people. I don't know. So he says it's not true. I should tell the people this morning that it's not true, that he's been approached. Yeah. Because it's his job anyway, as technical director of the Football Federation. He's been approached to coach the Eagles on the 7th, but he's still thinking about it. And the reason he's still thinking about it is because of what happened at the Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah, Nigerians blamed. Oh my goodness, you should have seen him on Monday Night Football. His excuse was, well, we didn't lose any of the 2 games against Ghana, and he's right. We didn't lose those games. We just didn't do enough to qualify. But he says he's been approached. Yeah, he's going to think about it and will decide if it's a job that he wants to do by Sunday. And
I like
difficult.
He's just he's deceiving himself. He will coach us.
Maybe he's preparing himself mentally.
He's got to prepare himself mentally. He has to. He has to.
When you're going into a boxing bout to get a sparring partner, maybe that's what he's doing now. Insult me. He's taking everything until Sunday.
And he says the Football Federation has been speaking to quite a number of coaches. I wanted to know who exactly. So I mentioned the name of
Jane.
No, not Jane. I don't know why we have a woman coaching national team.
Tom. They're very funny names. Jane and
Renard. Yeah, and he says that Renard is top on the list. He's the number one priority, for the Super Eagles as we speak. But as it stands, it's all down to monies. The kind of agreements that they can bring forward that is favorable to the coach and to the Football Federation, but that their number one target is Hervé Renard. So moving forward, we hope that the Football Federation are able to dot their I's and cross their T's. Yeah.
Because let's be frank. When people say the coach, people always just assume they're paying only Coyote. Coyote is coming with the backroom staff.
Yeah. And
Coyote is going to have to pay his backroom staff.
Yeah.
His assistant coaches, his match assessor, data analyst, all those things. You're going to pay all those people. So when they ask for 200, sometimes it's not a lot of money.
So your caliber determines the list of people.
Yes, and then you're bringing quality, because as you are like this now, you will not go anywhere for your expertise since you are not a genius and price yourself cheap.
It
pay me. I'm not going to pay me. And I have to stay with this for 1 more year.
1 more year. But my question is, if we get him, for example, is it really about the coach, or is it the commitment of our players? Is it the ability?
At the end of the day, it's the commitment of the players. At the end of the day, because we've had many people say, even footballers themselves have said it here on this show, that the manager only. What is in a tactic? Is that you play 4-4-2, 3-5-2, 4-3-3? It's no big deal. But it's at the end of the day, it's about what sort of commitment and the level of expertise that the players, display on the pitch of play.
Yeah, very true.
That's bottom line. That's it.
Because I remember listening to Mikel's podcast, and when they spoke about the season they won the Champions League, that 2013 season. At the start of that season, they were terrible, and it was AVB. And once they sacked AVB, brought Di Matteo, who, by the way, currently is in no man's land now. The players just turned around, changed everything, started winning games. Because all of a sudden, they started applying themselves. And then they won all the way, beat Barcelona. Barcelona were almost unstoppable. And they beat them, got to the final, beat Bayern. Bayern were playing at home in the final. And they still beat them in their own home to win the cup. So I agree. that the players need to have that commitment that, we want to do this 100%. We're not going. The AFCON was a good example. We had all the challenges, but the Super Eagles were focused, determined, and they played. When they got to the final, yes, we lost, but you can tell that even the Ivory Coast team, remember, one manager was there and we were playing nonsense.
Yes.
You change the manager, you bring in somebody else, and all of a sudden he says, guys, go and do your thing. And the guys did what they had to do.
It's not like the new manager had better quality.
Nothing. He was part of the team before. There was nothing. He was still part of the team.
And then yesterday we were arguing about, Shegun said something about, a manager coming in and knowing the players and all the whatnot. I'm like, look, any manager who wants to coach any national team, it's like applying for a job at a company and you don't know what the company does. That's stupidity,
Very true.
You must know the players. And he also said that, look, there's a pool of international players with the Football Federation, as much as 40. So all the manager has to do is, okay, where's your list? And then you pick from the list and you whittle down to the 21 or the 25, that is needed by, for the competition. And it's really not, rocket science.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. The players are there already.
Yeah. You must know that Osimhen could do a video.
Unless you want to go outside of the box and say that, okay, look, I want majority of my players to come from the home front. Then you have to start doing a lot of work in terms of identifying those locally based players, So really,
but it's going to be
now. Wouldn't it be saddled with the responsibility of building a new team?
No.
Or do we have a team
we have
that
a
can
team.
last another?
This thing about building, and you don't build a new team with your national team. All you do is a few injections here and there. You don't just bring wholeheartedly a new team.
No, but in Nigeria, that's what
Because you don't have the luxury of time. It's not club football. It's not club football.
And just to answer your question, we have a pool of young players in different areas. Osai Samuel is a young player. Zaidu Sanusi is still relatively young. So even when we're worried about the likes of the Trust Ekong, Ahmed Musa, we have other players that can step in and still do a good job. Ademola Lookman is still young. May not be for 10 years, but will still play at least. Give us maybe another 2 World Cups. So I'm saying that, look, sometimes I think we always just assume this thing is... And club football, we will say club football and national team football are different.
Not the same at all.
So you can't use what you see your club doing to compare national team. Because even the best football, Brazil are struggling. Because now they pick most of the players from Europe. So before they will fly down, even most of the South American countries, before they will fly down to their base, take a couple of days. So it's even a problem for them to return to their club. Their clubs complain that it takes them about 2 days to get back. And then they have to rest and then come back to play. So football is changing. I think we should also change with the times.
All right, as far as continental football is concerned, all of our teams on the continent, Remo Stars, Enugu Rangers, El Kanemi Warriors,
Enyimba is not on.
Enyimba drew by, So the three really have their work cut out for them. Rangers playing at home, both legs, more or less a done deal against the team from Comoros. Remo Stars play on Sunday. In Morocco against AS FAR. What they did, which I think was just absolutely mind-blowing, was at their stadium in Ikene, they put loud music and loud voices coming through loudspeakers at the stadium, and we're training with that sort of environment, trying to replicate, what would possibly, not possibly, would definitely happen in Morocco. So I think that was really ingenious coming from the coaching crew to give them that sense of expectation that, guys, this is what you are going to be facing when you get to Morocco. So let's have that atmosphere, charged up here, so you can just have a feel of it. It's really, really genuine thinking. Very genuine thinking.
Just to add to what you said also, the fact that a lot of times we talk about the challenges Nigeria pitches have, training stadiums or stadiums generally. And the fact that they had the lights on, because it was a night training session, the lights were on. It just also gives them not just the weather, but also the sort of atmosphere they're going to be playing with, the lightning. So they know that, okay, this is how it is. And I think it's good. Sports science. We talk a lot about sports science, but we do not see enough of it. And that's why I say it's credit for them. I'm really hoping they can squeeze through. I don't think they can. But I still just believe somewhere that based on the way they prepared, they should be able to at least put up a good fight until the end.
I like the idea. I mean, I love it. But but it's not just about the sound.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the people. That stadium is I think it's a 52,000 capacity. So seeing the people themselves and the people making all of those noises, it's nothing compared to playing music and making noise from a loudspeaker. But it's at least it shows that a Nigerian club side has a hierarchy that is thinking outside of the box, and you've got to give a lot of kudos to Remo Stars for what they're doing. I really think they shouldn't have allowed, AS Falcons score that goal that they did.
Yeah.
Because when you take that sort of disadvantage to a North African side, it's just about signing your death warrants.
No, but history's shown that they can always pull up. They've done this before. They've taken 2-1, gone away from home, and they've secured the result. That's history 2 seasons ago, but I believe it's possible, right? I don't think they can do it, but I have that small space somewhere in my heart where, with all the preparations, and you just mentioned it only takes a team that is thinking to go about, okay, what would we experience when we get to Morocco? What will it sound like? What would the people be doing? And the football would make all this. The football will be the deciding factor, because as much as you create the environment, when it gets to the football itself, will your players be 100%? And that's the most important thing for me.
Arsenal signing Mikel Merino. So far, with that sort of signing, would have spent £100 million in the transfer window, which closes at the end of the month. There will be no excuses, Femi. There will be, there will be no excuses whatsoever. None.
Generally, and as much as Arsenal fans will probably send messages before they end the show, I think it is poor that all they've won in 6 seasons is one title or one trophy in 6 years. Because look, from a football fan, leave what business is. From a fan point of view, you go into tournament, be one of the big teams to win. And I don't think Arsenal cannot say they can't win the League Cup or the FA Cup.
I on social media, I said, and I think it was a Monday night. It was a Monday Night Football. I said I was in an argument with Shegun. And of course, he's always very sentimental when it's not Manchester United. I said, look, in terms of having a good season, as far as I'm concerned, and I said it was my opinion, I think Manchester United had a better season than Arsenal. Based on what exactly? United won a trophy. United are in Europe. Arsenal finished in second position. Counts for nothing. You get a place in Europe, yes, but at the end of the day, there are 4 trophies on parade in the Premier League. And I'm not talking here about the Community Shield. I'm talking here about the FA Cup, the League Cup, the UCL, and the Premier League title.
Arsenal won the Community Shield through the back door, by the way. They were not champions or anything.
Whether they won, that's even irrelevant. That's not. It's not a trophy on. It's not part of the four.
Yes, it's not. Yes, it's not.
And Arsenal didn't win any of these things. So as far as I'm concerned, and you can argue about this with me, I think United had a much better season than Arsenal.
Last season, yes.
Finishing second counts for nothing.
If you're looking at it from last season, yes.
I said last season now. No, this season had just begun.
Arsenal now qualified for the Champions League.
Yeah.
And that Champions League was something.
Arsenal in the era of Arsene Wenger qualified for the Champions League 16 years in a row. It was a giving.
I like the fact that United won a trophy, and I'm seeing reason in what you're saying, but finishing in that Champions League places has to count for something. United are not in Champions League. Europa League is.
Aston Villa finished in Champions League position.
Yes,
big deal. A big deal.
Yes.
Do you think Unai Emery wouldn't want an FA Cup trophy?
He would want a trophy.
Of course.
Wants trophy, but
of
the Champions League
at the end of the day, what are you judged on?
The trophies you win.
Bottom line.
Because when United finished in the top 4 and won the League Cup, for me, they had a better season than Arsenal. No questions. Because I won a trophy, I still go to the same tournament you're going to. But they're not in the Champions League. And they even team than the champions. How can you call it Champions League?
I tell you, because you didn't win anything anyway. Exactly, so why are you in the Champions League? But then that's another discussion.
Champions in the Champions League. But I think if Ademola Lookman goes there, I think it'll be brilliant.
You think Ademola Lookman to Arsenal is a good deal?
I think it's a good deal. I think if he goes there, or if he goes to Manchester City, because City are also rumored to be interested. They're looking for a replacement for Alvarez, and they see him as that sort of player. To Arsenal or to City, if he gets the opportunity.
I don't see Ademola Lookman as a good replacement for Alvarez, to be honest. I know a lot of people watch Ademola Lookman in that, where he scored a hat-trick, and everyone's mindset is focused on that. But I'm looking at the player in totality as a whole, and in comparison to Alvarez, no.
I feel that.
I don't think so.
While City may be a different team because of their.
We saw Lookman recently in the Super Cup.
No, but you could tell his touches. So when you're playing a good team, that team will make you. And I thought Alvarez, while Alvarez is a good player, City makes him brighter. City has that way of just making even an ordinary player look a little better than he already is. So I think if he goes to Arsenal, with the way Arsenal play, he fits in. For me, that left position, he'll bench whoever is in that left position, including, what's his name? Martinelli. He'll bench him.
Really?
Yes. I pick him to go to Arsenal. Arsenal's style of football it suits him. They are quick, off the ball movements. You can tell those runs. All he just needs to do is understand that now you play for a team. Believe in your teammates, because sometimes I think he wants to do too much. In the Super Cup, I thought he was trying to do too much, dribble too many people. You can't dribble everybody. Dribble the ones you can dribble. When you cannot dribble, pass the ball and run. But I think it'd be good if he goes there, and it's a good story because I remember saying it here that our players are not average. And Lookman, the interest in Lookman, because Liverpool are also interested. Liverpool are saying since they cannot get Gordon, they may turn to him instead.
Our players, and you've got to count them, on the palm of your hands. Our players are just slightly above average. Slightly above average.
That's enough.
Yeah, slightly above. Good enough to make the first 11 of some of these squads. Yeah, but nothing for you to.
No gang.
That's overly excited feeling. I really don't think so. Like Boniface, for instance, is he a player that evokes that sort of emotion when you talk about footballers? I mean, is he one player that you're saying, oh my goodness, I'd love to watch this guy play?
I've always said that when you play in a good team, you would naturally show those good things. And I've seen his 2 seasons in Belgium and in Germany. And without him, Leverkusen kept winning games last season.
Yeah.
So it just tells you that even without him, the team will succeed. He's a good player. I think he adds a lot to the team. I haven't seen enough of him in the national team because maybe he hasn't settled.
But Napoli also won games without Osimhen at some point when he was injured.
I'm making the same point. I'm making the same point. That as good as Osimhen is, even the season they won the title, there are games he didn't play.
It tells you it's not a function of the player's expertise, but how the team is structured. Yeah, ultimately. Okay, so let's get your thoughts across on the show. Remember, you can also make that call as well. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
How are you?
Good morning.
I'm fine. And you? It's your producer. Don't be afraid. Well, after more, I don't see them getting any results from North Africa.
Why?
See, we all know. We don't. Nigerian teams don't find it easy for the continent against any North African team. We all know that. And advantage in North Africa, because they are ahead of us. Our league has not started. Over there, their leagues are all. And there is difference between training and proper match. We all know. So that advantage they have it over us. Rangers might go through because they are accepting away. The majority of some of their funds will be available in Aqua. So if the government really mean well for them, to put the cathedral in order so that they can become back to anything to play other matches. And as for our players, maybe they are above average. To me, they are not above average. They are not even good enough to start in maybe Real Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Man City, or Man U. Any one of them.
How can you say that? How can you? Are you saying that Victor Osimhen is not good to start at clubs like Arsenal?
I think he can start as much as Real Madrid.
Guy now, has he gone?
Yes.
Okay. I think Victor is good enough to play for any team in the Premier League. Any team in the Premier League.
I think any team in the world. At this point, maybe later on if you change it, but now.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Charles.
Morning, how you doing?
I do. Good morning, Femi.
Good morning.
Chelsea, he don't start this season again.
Wetin I do now? Are they lying?
What Arsenal do? Which one be say they
No,
lie?
but am I lying?
How man you take get better because they win the FA Cup?
Yes.
Where be say you define you no see?
Eh?
You define you no see am. Charles, I beg, leave my Arsenal alone. My job is say if I need you go collect.
Okay, I hear you.
You know, I heard something yesterday that as bad as Chelsea is in terms of what they're going through, Chelsea still
By the
won.
way, we beat Servette yesterday by 2-0.
Chelsea still
We're coming.
Chelsea still won a major title after Arsenal.
Look,
Because Chelsea won the Champions League in 2021.
as far as history is concerned, yeah, and we're talking big time football here. You cannot compare Arsenal to Chelsea. Chelsea has won the biggest title in European football twice.
No, but in England.
Okay, I'm talking world football here. I'm talking European football, not England. England is a small thing, small fry when you talk about European. Is England Europe? We're talking European football here. They've won the UCL twice.
Arsenal has Premier League legends.
They're not mates now.
Arsenal has Premier League legends, or legends, plural.
Not mates now.
I don't think. Okay, maybe Chelsea has. Oh, Chelsea has a legend.
Has a legend.
Just don't tell you now. They're not rich too now.
Excuse you.
They're not rich too now.
DJ Drogba.
A Premier League legend.
DJ Drogba.
At best,
He's not a Premier League
As
legend.
best, is a cult hero. As best, cult hero.
My goodness.
Premier League cult hero at best.
Frank Lampard. Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole, Arsenal can also have a say in Ashley Cole too.
Wow.
Arsenal can claim Ashley Cole too. Because they also have 50% of the contribution to it. We're talking about, see, Henry, Vieira. That's why I say only Terry comes to mind. And people
All
want
these names I mentioned don't come to mind.
No.
They're not Premier League heroes.
Drogba is a cult hero. I think it was only Drogba did not score 20 goals.
What's his name? Eden Hazard.
So Premier League is
Let's worry you.
is a cult hero. It's just cult hero. Senior cult hero. Let me read a few of your messages. Stockwell Forward says, what's the reason behind the Nigerian Football Federation lack of trust in qualified female coaches like Florence Omagbemi to handle our female national teams? It's concerning that the NFF consistently prefers part-time foreign managers over incompetent Nigerian women. The bias must end and the NFF must prioritize giving qualified female coaches the opportunities they deserve.
Stockwell, my answer to that is, if you really want to help your nation, yes, and for whatever reason you feel aggrieved, maybe Florence felt aggrieved, whatever it is, yeah, put your hat in the ring. We talk about the likes of Samson Siasia. Why should we hand him the national team job on a platter of gold? A lot of people say, look, you've got to put in the work, and I'm in support of that. I believe that. That's why the likes of Emmanuel Amunike, Finidi George doing it now with Rivers United. What's his name again? Salisu Yusuf going back to the NN. I mean, you've got to show that you still are within the confines of the game. You can't hand somebody a job based on the antecedents of how many years ago. Come on now. It's a national team we're talking about here.
Just to add to what he's saying, I also think a lot of times we do not ask the state FAs what they do, because I remember there was a CAF course in Africa for women where I know it was Oyo State. They sent a number of coaches. Some of Nigeria's ex-international women were part of it. So we need to build our coaching pool, because we usually hear the same names. Madugu, Christopher Danjuma, Olo Okere. It's the same people. If we don't have a different set of people, we always keep recycling the same name. So I was very excited when I saw that story come out. Let me read a few more messages. Okay, this says it's called Expansion Joint. That's talking about the work of Third Mainland Bridge.
Yeah.
Ministry of Works is fixing the joint and patching the road leading to Diolu for Marina. You know the remaining part that you wrote there, so let me not even open Pandora's box. I know. No be me. DSS will all carry. Good morning, Mr. Charles. I agree with you on the commitment of the players, but I also don't think it can be one without the other. If there's commitment and then a bad coach, it still is not the optimum.
How do you define a bad coach?
No coach is bad.
How do you define a bad coach? I mean, if you're going to get somebody... Anyway.
Why are the Paralympians getting more? Well-processed review, responsible administration, and trying to be better. The first thing I got is Samson says, why are the Paralympians getting more?
I'm wondering. Do you have the answer? I'm wondering too.
They need more money now.
Because?
Not my money, but going to get anything.
No. You said they need more money. Why?
They need more money because they don't have the sort of sponsorship that the Olympians have. And if you remember the last Olympics, there was an adopted athlete for the Olympians. Was there the same process for the Paralympians? No. Paralympians.
No. What that initiative said was adopt an athlete.
But they didn't adopt the Paralympians.
Oh, goodness me.
You know how the eagle will say, can you see that again?
Man.
Say it again.
Oh, man. All right, let's take calls with Jerry. Don't mind people.
Okay, no calls in here. Well, Honorable, we've seen your message. This says, good morning. Oh, this is Shei Jobi. Now, wow, how now? 18 new players signed for Kwara United. Now, I know who Chelsea is competing with. As in 18 players. Did they sell the whole team that played last season?
No, it's normal with MPFL teams. It's no big deal. It's what they do every season. They're not the only ones. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Lagos Stocks.
Yep.
Okay. My name is Sydney.
Your name is what?
Sydney.
Sydney.
Calling from Yaba.
Okay, go ahead, Sydney.
Yeah, so I heard somebody say Chelsea do not have legends.
Don't mind him.
We've counted a few. They are just a few.
Don't mind him.
They are just a few.
Don't mind him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Pogba is a cult hero.
In England.
Pogba is a cult hero.
15 goals
Don't mind him.
in a season.
There's Peter Cech.
How?
Ashley Cole became a legend when he left Arsenal to join Chelsea.
Yeah.
Peter Cech is not a legend.
He's okay. He's all right. He's okay.
Frank Lampard.
But
Gianfranco
Drogba is not a legend.
Zola.
Drogba is not a legend.
Dennis Wise.
Then he's just not winning anything. Then how can Dennis Wise be the Premier League legend? You're a Premier League legend based on what you win. The reason why United can scream about their legends because they were also winning things to back it.
Aspilicueta. Claude Makaleli.
Makaleli cannot be a Premier League legend. At best.
Marcel Desailly.
Desailly had his best time at AC Milan.
I beg, Femi. That's not.
Let me read more messages. Peter from Ogba says the reason for the monetary awards for medals for the Paralympians is obvious. Now, shame catch our sports ministry. They saw other smaller countries giving out $50,000 for gold medalists, so had to increase this one. For the NFF and the Super Eagles coach, there's money for any white coach, so they may likely go for another local coach. I don't understand this.
I think you meant to say there's no money.
Okay.
Maybe. And if you had to employ a local coach, who would you give the job to? Who's available? Who's
got the
who's
pedigree?
qualified
Yeah.
to take up that responsibility?
I don't think there's anyone. Currently, I don't think there's anyone in that space. Except we just want, and we can't be doing trial and error.
The only
on the
person
national
who hasn't gotten a job as head coach is Emmanuel Amunike.
But he has been with the team before.
But
as
not
a matter
as
of fact,
not as a head coach.
But we didn't see the difference in the game he was in.
Not as Arsenal qualifying for the World Cup. You cannot blame Emmanuel for that because he wasn't at the helm.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Charlie, good morning.
Baba.
What do Arsenal do?
Tell me whether they lie. If I they lie, then I go apologize. Eh? You see, I don't they make accusations when you get when you substantiate. You don't make accusations now when you prove. I hear you. More now pay money go win them now.
All right, let me read a few more messages. Damilar is asking about our prediction. We've put that on hold. Yes?
Yeah, for now, because it's a man who's going to lose hasn't really made any commitment, so
he has to get commitment from outside as well, so they'll come to the
Courage
rescue. Yes, so they'll come
Damilare first.
So they'll come to his rescue.
Dami, if you're willing to bear the consequence of him losing, then we shall continue. It's not too late.
If Austin Eguavoen did not accept the role of coach, the Super Eagles in qualifying games, I won't blame him. He has all the right to do so, because if he accepts the role and the Super Eagles loses, Nigerians will be insulting him. So if I'm the one, I won't accept the role. The people Nigerians have to blame are the NFF, not Austin Eguavoen or the players, because they are confused politicians. They're not there for the betterment of football, but to eat the money meant for the growth of football. Super Eagles are not magicians. To win a team, they have a coach over 1 year. The NFF want to make Austin Eguavoen and the Super Eagles players the sacrificial lamb. Joe.
To be honest, Joe, he can't refuse the job. The only way in which Augustine cannot be in charge of the Super Eagles is if the Football Federation decide to give it to another local coach. And when I use the word local, you know what I'm talking about. If they're able to identify anybody else, within the confines of Nigerian football who can do it, then that's the only way that Augustine will not be in charge. But at the end of the day, if they're not able to find somebody, it's his responsibility. It's his role. He has to do it.
In North Africa, a referee will give a penalty for an offence committed outside the 18-yard box to help the home team win a game. Remo Stars, please take notes, Mr. Olu. Good morning, Sports Zone. I don't think the Arsenal signing Merino is what they really need now. Arsenal needs an experienced number 9 to challenge for trophies. And if Arsenal fails to win a trophy this season, I think we can comfortably say they have failed, because there will be no excuses this time, Mr. Cardinal.
Based on how Arsenal played last season, number of goals that they scored, would you really, can you really make a strong case of them needing a number 9? You really cannot.
No.
You really can't, because the goals came from everywhere and anywhere, and this season they've started off on a good note as well. So you really cannot, maybe in terms of fortifying their defense and, putting an extra leg in the midfield is what Arteta is concerned with, which, to be honest, is legitimate. But as far as goal scoring is concerned, I don't really think they have any problems, to be honest. I don't think
And to be fair, Kai Havertz has led teams to Champions League glory, so you can't say he isn't good enough to lead the line. He's unorthodox. He's not the regular striker, but I think he does the job. Good morning. Unpopular opinion, no EPL player will get into Real Madrid starting 11. I doubt City will sign Lookman. Who would he bench, especially with Gundogan returning? Looking forward to a lovely weekend of EPL.
Did you say no Premier League player?
He said so.
No Premier League player.
He said so.
Ha.
I don't agree, though. I think Haaland naturally will walk into the starting 11.
I think Saka even walks into the starting 11 of Real Madrid.
Funny enough, I still think Walker will walk into the starting 11.
Oh, yeah?
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Left back.
Rodri
will walk into the starting 11 of Real Madrid.
How can you say that kind of thing?
Left back. Let's see. Left back. Funny enough, I still think that, what's his name? Even Robertson will walk into the starting 11 of Real Madrid. Because whoever is playing for Real Madrid left back is not there. Yeah, so at least we mentioned a few. I'm Bala from Lere. Good morning, Sports Zone. It says the fact that the Super Eagles have 2 players, Osimhen, trending in the market for the entire period of the transfer window, especially when it's the big club hovering around them, is giving me chills. It shows the level that the 2 players have attained. Uncle Charles, I want your weekly prediction, I beg. May the soul of the departed wrestler rest in the bosom of the Lord.
If you want to be a part of us, first off, follow us across all social media pages at Lagos Talks 913 is our handle. And of course, kindly like, share, subscribe, and make sure you're a part of the Lagos Talks family.